As at yesterday, when I checked, 30th September, the dollar was selling at 10 cedis 65 pesos. So at this rate, the dollar will hit 11 Ghana cedis in the next 1 or 2 weeks.
Well, the finance minister is talking about the confidence of how this cocoa syndicated loan, which we signed yesterday, would impact on the forex situation. In fact, the strengthening of the cedi going forward, $1.3 billion that's coming in.
We've always had cocoa syndication loans in the last quarter of the fiscal year. If you look at the pressure on the Ghana cedi, the question is whether or not the cocoa syndication loan we'll be getting this year will be enough, okay, will be enough to cushion the Ghana cedi against the US dollar especially. Obviously, we are going to see some temporary artificial stability, but that will not be sustainable. As that begins to fizzle out, we are going to see an alarming depreciation of the Ghana cedi. And that is why local banks like ABSA are predicting that the dollar will hit 12 Ghana cedis by the end of December. Because don't also forget that demand for dollars in the last quarter of every fiscal year in this year goes up astronomically. And so we should not just be looking at what government is doing artificially to shore up the cedi that relative to the cocoa syndication loan, but we should also be looking at the demand, side of the issue. And demand is going to go way up. And if the projections our own local banks are making is anything to go by, then the cedi will not be doing any better, even in the last quarter of this year. And I don't see how the finance minister can look Ghanaians in the face, okay, at a time the cedi has depreciated by over 40% and say that the economy is improving. Again, look at inflation. Inflation is not doing any better. 3 months ago, the rate of inflation was less than 30%. Today, the rate of inflation is 34%. And it is very clear that as the cedi continues to depreciate, being one of the major push factors of the hyperinflation we are witnessing, inflation is going to go further up. And if we are not lucky, it will cross 35, 36, 37% by the last quarter of this year. And once the rate of inflation is going up, it means that the rate of change in prices will be going up. And that is going to impose untold hardships on the Ghanaian people. But you see, in all these things, in this conversation, the most important thing that we need to look at to come to the conclusion or the opinion that the economy is doing better or not is really about the public debt. It's about the public debt, because that is what the investor community, both local and external, are mostly concerned about. And the signs are clear that our public debt is not sustainable. And just to wrap up, and that I am very sure of will be the outcome of the ongoing debt sustainability analysis that the IMF and the Bank of Ghana are engaging. And so if your debt position is unsustainable and that is not improving, and your risk of debt default is on the ascendancy, for which reason Fitch has further downgraded you below junk status to CC and all that, further dampening investor confidence in your economy, then you are sitting on a time bomb. And so no amount of PR gimmicks or lofty rhetorics, like the finance minister is dabbling in, can salvage the situation we find ourselves in. The situation we find ourselves in, Alfred, calls for candor. It calls for honesty. That is the only way the investor community can, have some confidence in the mitigation measures we are trying to put place with the IMF.